that he passed away at a relatively young age for a man who was so strong and so powerful and so healthy and so fit for so many years. I was inspired by him long before I met him first time. Then during the time that he was serving as a national security advisor to President Reagan, and then when he became Secretary of State for President Bush, we met many times and we became quite friendly, and we used to talk a lot. And he was a friend of Israel, which is always something that we are very sensitive for, obviously. But first and foremost, one has to say he was a hero, a military hero, and a general, and the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff of the Army of the United States military, which is he was the first black general to become the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. And then he was the first, I think, black to
definitely
be Secretary of State.
A remarkable
personality. A remarkable person, a remarkable American, a remarkable human being.
But he missed on Iraq, which brings me now to Iran. Let's talk about Iran.
Well, just 1 second, before we make this final judgment that he missed on Iraq. The entire military intelligence of the United States of America missed on Iraq on those issues that triggered the military effort made by George W. Bush. So one has to remember that, the information was not his personal.
Okay. What if all these, intelligence organizations are missing on Iran as well?
Okay, of course. What are they likely to miss? We all think that Iran is trying to enrich more and more uranium to the degree of 60% now, which is certainly an effort to create a nuclear capabilities. When you have a government as radical as the Iranian government, when they make public statements that one of the ultimate aims is to liquidate the State of Israel, and at the same time they enrich uranium to the degree of 60%, the minimum is that you have to be concerned and worried and make every possible effort in order to prevent it. So, how much, we can be missing in this assessment. I think that the question is not whether we are wrong. We are not wrong. The question is what are the appropriate measures to cope with it. And there is a debate about it. I think that the position that was held by President Obama was the correct one. The fact is that during the period of time since the signing of the agreement that President Obama sponsored, they had no progress in the nuclear plan. Since America actually left the agreement during the time of President Trump, they have made a progress. So I think that an agreement, if there will be one, I don't know, if there will be an agreement that the Americans will find effective enough to prevent them from moving forward, I think that this will be a very good and positive development. But of course, we don't have to rule out other options, but these options are primarily American options and not Israeli options. Yeah. America has to lead this effort.
Another anniversary, sort of, we're marking here in Israel 10 years to the Gilad Shalit deal between Israel and Hamas, which was a very controversial one, to say the least, here in Israel. What would you say 10 years after this deal?
There was a mistake. I think it showed weakness, which damaged the status of Israel, and which I think has promoted and has triggered the military confrontations we had with Hamas since then.
What about the ethos of bringing the boy back home?
Not at any cost. Not at any cost. Sometimes, I must say that when we were going all over the place, across the world, about the need to release Gilad Shalit. I remember many times that American leaders, including the president, and European leaders used to say to me, "We don't understand, you guys always warn everyone not to negotiate with terrorist organizations, and at the end, the only ones that negotiate with terrorist organizations is the State of Israel. You always preach morale to us. Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. But you guys do it." So sometimes in the life of a nation, decisions must be made which are painful, heartbreaking, difficult, hard to make. I don't try to, minimize the depths of this dilemma. But this is precisely why some guys are holding the positions of leaders in order to be able to take these decisions rather than to surrender, as unfortunately Netanyahu did.
I thank you very much for coming tonight.